fellow Kenyans. This gathering here today is a representation of young people who are desirous of having change in their country. A set of young people who are tired of just talking and they want to take action to hold their government accountable and to secure their future and their dreams. So my name is and I'm the chairperson for Kikao, and I would like to speak briefly about Kikao and why we're here. So we are not just here to announce or to make declarations, but we are here to call for action, a call to every patriot, every dreamer, and every Kenyan who dares to believe in a better future. We are not the first to stand here. We walk in the footsteps of those giants who came before us, the heroes who fought for our independence, those men and women who fought for a second liberation and introduced multi-party democracy in our country. We also honor and stand on the shoulders of those who fought and introduced the new constitution dispensation that we currently enjoy. But also we remember the sacrifices of our own generation. The Gen Z protests. Young Kenyans rose with unmatched courage, demanding accountability and justice. They stood against forces determined to silence them, and some of them paid an ultimate price. They were our brothers, they were our sisters, they are our friends. Today we honor them, not with empty words, but with action. Their sacrifices will not be in vain. We will finish the mission they started. So today, when we stand here, is our way of saying that the youth of Kenya are alive, united, and unstoppable. Together, we are laying the foundation for a new republic. A republic where justice is not a privilege, but a right. Where leadership is rooted in service, and where every Kenyan has a voice. A new republic is not just a dream, it is a necessity. The Kenya we live in today is plagued by systems that reward corruption, divide us along tribal lines, and crush the dreams of the young. We cannot afford to sit back. The price of silence is too high to pay. Every day we stay silent, corruption deepens, opportunities shrink, and the hopes of millions are stolen. Silence is complicity, and we refuse to be complicit in these endeavors. Our mission is simple, yet very profound. That as Kikao, we are here to educate through civic education and political education. We are here to organize, to bring young people together. And we are also here to liberate ourselves from the shackles of poverty, bad governance, and oppression. To those who believe they can dismiss us, hear this. The youth of Kenya have arisen, and we are not turning back. We are the heartbeat of this nation, and our rhythm is one of revolution. We are the great grandsons and granddaughters of Mekatilili Wamenzi, of Koitalel Arab Samoe, of Dedan Kimathi, and Wangari Maathai. Current flows in our veins, and we abhor injustice wherever it exists. To every patriot listening today, the time to act is now. The time to dream is over. The time to build is here. You have to join forces today We will honor those who have fallen. Together, we will rewrite Kenya's story. Together, we will build a new republic. Hivi kwamba namaanisha kwamba Kikao ni muungano wa vijana ambao wameamua kwamba taifa lao limeumia vya kutosha. Hawa ni vijana ambao ndani ya mioyo yao wameamua kwamba uongozi mbaya hauna nafasi katika taifa letu. Wamejitolea kwa ari na mali kuhakikisha kwamba tunaikomboa taifa letu kutokana na uongozi mbaya. Kwa hivyo tunapokusanyika hapa, tunauliza vijana wenzetu kutoka taifa lote la Kenya kwamba kuungana na kuja katika kikao hiki ambacho tunakiunda hapa si jambo la mtu mmoja na si kazi itakayofanywa na watu wachache. Ni jambo ambalo linahitaji umoja, linahitaji kufanya kazi kwa pamoja. Kwa hivyo vijana wengi wamekuwa wakiuliza ni vipi tutaweza kukusanyika pamoja ili tuweze kuikomboa taifa letu. Na leo hii tunawapa jawabu. Kwamba jawabu ni kikao. Kwamba vijana lazima waketi chini, wajadiliane na waamue hatima ya taifa lao. Kwa sababu tunafahamu kwamba 70% ya Wakenya wako chini ya umri wa miaka 35. Na hao ndio watakaoamua hatima ya taifa letu. Hatutakubali watu wachache ambao kiongozi wetu aliposema hapo awali, ndani ya miaka 20 ijayo hawatakuwepo, wafanye maamuzi mazito ambayo yatatuweka katika madeni, yatatuweka katika shida. Kwa hivyo vijana wa Kenya, wakati umefika ambapo ni lazima tuchukue hatima yetu mikononi mwetu. Ni lazima tujipige moyo konde na tutazame kwamba vizazi vijavyo baada yetu vitatuangalia sisi na vitauliza maswali nyeti. Mojawapo itakuwepo ni wakati ufisadi na ubaraduli na unyakuzi wa mali wa umma ulipokuwa ukiendelea katika taifa la Kenya ulikuwa wapi? Hakuna mkombozi atakayekuja kuikomboa Kenya. Hakuna kiongozi shujaa ambaye atainuka kuikomboa taifa hili. Wale ambao watalikomboa taifa la Kenya ni wewe na mimi. Na kwa hivyo wakati umefika ambapo ni lazima tuje tuzungumze, tuje tujadiliane na tuamue hatima ya taifa letu kama vijana wa taifa la Kenya. Kwa hivyo mnakaribishwa nyote na mnaitwa kwa pamoja kwamba Kikao ni muungano wa Wakenya wote ambao wana uzalendo ndani ya mioyo yao, ambao wanatamani kuona mabadiliko katika taifa hili. Kwa hivyo kama wewe hoja yako ni kuona mabadiliko ambayo ni bora katika taifa hili, kuona kwamba masomo yako yanaboreshwa, kuona kwamba afya yako iko sawa, kuona kwamba usalama wako kijijini na kule mijini uko sawa, wakati umefika kuungane na Kikao. Mlivyoambiwa kwenye mtandao tunapatikana katika www.kikao.live. Kama una hoja ama una haja ya kuja kuungana pamoja nasi, tufikie kupitia mtandao. Pia kwenye TikTok tuko na mitandao ya kijamii yote tuko. Lengo letu ni moja, tuelimishe kila mtu, wazazi, wa ndugu zetu, dada zetu na kila mtu ambaye tunaweza mpata, ili tuweze kulikomboa taifa letu. Kwa hivyo wakati ni sasa. Na kama ulikuwa unangoja muungano wowote au hatua yoyote ambayo inahitaji kuchukuliwa, hii ndio hatua ambayo tunaichukua. Na kama alivyosema wahenga, safari ya a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And this is the single step that we are taking towards the total liberation and the fourth and the final liberation of our country, Kenya. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending this.
So we welcome questions. We have some of our secretariat members here, others are not here, but we have maybe a few ladies who are serving as members of the leadership team. If you have any questions, please shoot.
Hi, my name is Mutembei from KTN. So, various organizations of various people have been calling upon the government to act upon the abductions. Have you seen any improvement or any action?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, we've seen very little action coming from government in terms of addressing the abductions that have been happening. In fact, we've seen abductions continue. I think the only case we've had so far is about the late Masai one in court that is ongoing. And there are so many lives lost. There are still people missing. I highlighted the CO3 who are still missing until this point. So the culture of abductions is here. Right? And as young people, tunasema tutasimama haya mambo yakiendelea. Right? We will fight, we will speak with bravery, with honesty, and we call people to account. So, your second question, which is about the statistics. So far, for Kikao, and we encourage people to actually go on our website, because one of the features that we have there is that people can register or identify people who are lost, and we can start keeping a database of these people. So about 66, according to records that are official, but we know there is more. They are not speaking up. Some of them are still scared, their families, but you encourage them to speak up. The only way you stand up to a bully is when you speak up. That's what we will do. Thank you so much.
Assuming the government doesn't do anything about it now, but we will say that you're coming for something. And assuming the government doesn't do anything about it, what will
the streets are still open. There's various ways we can constitutionally voice for our rights. We can go to court, we can protest on the streets. There's so many options that we have. Now, unfortunately, because the government is in power and they're the ones who control things right now, there's limitations to what we can do, right? Even within the legal space. So we go to court, we've seen them disobey court orders. Our goal now is that we have to go to the people and speak to them, educate them that in the next election and subsequent elections, we get a chance to elect new people who will represent the wishes of the people. And these crimes that have happened, people will have to be held accountable for what they've done. So.
What do you mean by some youths or some young people being compromised during the government? And concerning the debt, I need some clarity. Did you just provide people to find ways
to declare that, make public the debt
just
register?
around there and the young men that have been compromised during the government?
Yeah, to start with the question about the CS, that was given by the court. It was the court order was within 45 days. For us, we're encouraging, because we know he's a qualified accountant, to do it as soon as possible. This information ought to have been in the public. We don't need a court order for us to relay this information. So we need it like yesterday. So I ask that this is availed as soon as possible. Secondly, on the issue of people who are compromised, yes. And we've seen in history, from YK 92 days, when the government of Moi bribed, manipulated some people to turn against those who are calling for justice and fighting for the rights of Kenyans. Some of them joined government. Some of them even became our leaders. Yeah. But as we stand here today, those efforts are still ongoing to compromise people. Yeah, we've seen some of them already declare that they're working with parties or government institutions or the government. But as we stand here as Kikao, our running call to the youth is that we have a voice, we have the numbers, and we have the opportunity to have a fresh start. Any other questions? We have a member here, you can also fill some of that. Go ahead.
My name is Mutembei from Mutembei. I have two questions. Yesterday, the majority leader of the House of the Senate, accused the young people, especially those online, of fabricating lies against the government. So I'd love to know what your response to that is. And number two, on digital activism, how sustainable is that in the long run, especially putting in mind what you'd love to achieve in 2027 elections?
So I'll let the chairperson address the first question. Let me answer the second question. As Kikao, we are moving past digital. We we say that we're going to conduct national civic education. So we're recruiting nationally down to the world to have representatives who are going to start engaging their communities. It's all of us, young people and other people who are interested, old people, whatever people who are interested, who identify with our mission. To join Kikao, we will do it, we'll mobilize online, we'll also go on the ground.
All right, I'd like to address the first question. You said the majority leader in Senate accuse young people of spreading lies online. It is quite a paradox because who do we know for spreading lies in this country? Who is the master of lies? Who stands here today and says this and tomorrow says the other? And we know him. We know them. You know, the only reason why they are attacking us online is because online media or digital media has liberalized the way we communicate. So they do not have, they cannot control how you can text or who you can tweet to or who you can send a TikTok video to. You see, the problem is we are spreading lies is because they come here and say we have allocated 500 million to build a stadium, and when you go to the ground and you have equipped with your camera, you can see there's nothing going on there. Like we can clearly see from the records, they are looting. So they are scared. It's not because you're spreading lies, but because digital media has given us access to knowing the truth. You can no longer just come and say we have allocated money. Tumetenga, tumeweka, tumepanga, tuko na mikakati. You don't do that anymore. The youth of this country are awake. They can fact check you live as things happen on the ground. Tuko ground, tunachukua TikTok, tunachukua kila kitu tunaonyesha live. So ukisema umejenga nyumba, we want to see those houses. So when you ask you where are those houses, when you can't see them, you say we are lying. No, we are not lying. Why can't they tell us the truth then? Because that is what we are waiting for.
Any other questions?
Collins from the Scans.
Yes.
The other time the government was accusing some international organizations for funding the movement. Where are you guys getting your funds?
Good question. Yeah, so so far, it is ourselves who've been able to hold ourselves up to this point. But we're not ashamed to say we want funding, because we need funding to do this work. But what is the nature of this funding? Are we calling for transparency and not being transparent ourselves? So we declare in the open our source of funds when they come. If it's coming from Kenyans themselves, we have efforts to start doing crowdfunding. Bob and Seth will speak more about that, to encourage Kenyans to actually participate by contributing, and not just contributing to an individual, to a structure, because Kikao is an organization. We have checks, balances, we have a team, we can hold each other accountable, right? Funding from donor world, even our government is funded from donors, right? So it's not a shame. If you have any donors out there who want to fund young people to conduct civic education, we welcome you to reach out to Kikao.